What's up, YouTube? I'm Brett from Rants. As always, guys, if y'all enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave that comment down below. All right, so Margot Robbie looks like is taking a break from Harley Quinn. I'm a little bit disappointed by this. I don't know if it's a permanent break. It seems like she's really exhausted with the character, exhausted with the direction that DC is going, and basically not seeing a future where that character plays a more prominent role. Of course, they gave her, her own movie in Birds of Prey, which was, let's face it, was doomed from the start. That was a terrible movie. That was probably one of the worst, by far, it was the worst DC film that's been put out there. It's just not a very good film in any stretch of the imagination. It was too much about woman power, but not really about substance. And that's where I'll complain about it all day long. I feel like that is where Hollywood gets women wrong. Is you can talk about female empowerment without making the whole movie about female empowerment. Make these characters three-dimensional characters. Make them where that they are layered characters, where that they have substance, they have feelings, emotions beyond that. DC gets that wrong. I say DC gets that wrong. They did a really good job with Wonder Woman, I feel like, but I feel like most of Hollywood gets that wrong. Marvel really gets it wrong. Marvel is just so out there with their version of what they consider female empowerment. And they make it the centerpiece of movies rather than making these female characters really enjoyable to watch in a lot of ways. But it's just really sad that she's seeing that maybe this is the end. Maybe she's not wanting to go back to this character. She's played this character for a couple years now. If you really think about it, of course you had her in Suicide Squad, Birds of Prey, and then, the Suicide Squad. So, she's played this same character in 3 straight movies, basically. But, hey, it's what she's known for. It's what really she is best at. There's no replacing her as Harley Quinn. There's just not. I hope they never try. I hope they just stop it right then. No more of it. If I had to play with Jared Leto as the Joker, and I always knew I had to be paired up with him in some form or fashion, I probably wouldn't want to play this character either. But that's just my opinions on DC's Joker, if you can call it that. But anyways, let's get into this about her reasons why, in her own words. It says right here, a Harley Quinn actor, Margot Robbie, who portrayed the character in Suicide Squad, Birds of Prey, and the upcoming The Suicide Squad, announced she's taking a break from the character. Speaking with Entertainment Weekly, Robbie revealed she would be taking a break from the character following the release of The Suicide Squad, directed by James Gunn. She explained it was kind of back-to-back filming Birds and filming this. So I was kind of like, oof, I need a break from Harley Quinn because she's exhausting. Robbie added, I don't know when we're next going to see her. I'm just as intrigued as everyone else. Which that means that it's just basically completely out of her hands, and she's just not feeling very confident that DC even knows where they're going with it, in which she says right here. The actress also hinted that DC Comics films do not have a roadmap when she reacted to the fact that Harley Quinn was killed off screen as revealed during the epilogue of Zack Snyder's Justice League. Entertainment Weekly described Robbie's reaction as genuinely flabbergasted when she questioned what. She then went on to say, I didn't know that. Thank you for telling me. Kind of bad when DC doesn't even let her know the direction that they actually maybe initially had for that character. Is it still the direction that they're wanting to go with this character? If so, I feel like she needs to know that, and decide whether or not she wants to move forward, and waste her time with a character that's going nowhere. So I mean, that just is where DC drives me crazy. As much as I love DC, I love it more than I ever loved Marvel. But you gotta admit, bad or good, Marvel still knows what it's doing. It intentionally does something. It knows where it's going. DC is just like, well, we're just gonna throw darts at the wall and see if any of it sticks when it comes to movies, and that just drives me crazy as a fan. It says Entertainment Weekly described Robbie's. Well, I already said that. She elaborated the film version of the DC universe. I actually think there are a lot like the comics. You pick up one comic and something's happening, and then you pick up the next comic and maybe that character is not alive. Maybe that character is not with that person. Maybe that character looks completely different. Look, Harley Quinn from Birds of Prey to Suicide Squad, and possibly even the Suicide Squad, is a completely different version. She was ridiculous in Birds of Prey. I mean, really, her rendition of Harley Quinn should actually be perfect in any movie that you place her in. But that movie was so bad, the writing was so bad, there's no way that it could bring out the Harley Quinn inside of her. And that just shows you that even the actors and actresses that are playing these DC heroes are even frustrated by just DC's inability to actually make consistency in any franchise. It's just, I don't know, it blows my mind. It upsets me as a fan. I don't know why DC wants to do this. I feel like in her, they are going to lose a great talent, a great character, and then what? We're stuck with Jared Leto, but no Margot Robbie. Like, that just drives me crazy. Anyways, it says each movie is its own thing, and I think that works in the comic book world, and I think that works in the DC film world as well. I don't think it does. It's not like Marvel, where everything is more obviously linked in a more linear way. It feels like there's so many adjacent stories, worlds, and films happening at the same time, just like there are in the comics, she explained. It says Robbie continued, so yeah, I didn't know that, but it didn't necessarily change what other people are able to do with the universe. I don't think what one director decides, I don't think dictates what another director might be able to pick up and do with the world and the characters, which is fun. I think that's an appealing aspect of for directors in the DC world. They can put it their own the way James did. He did have to be beholden to the version that David Ayer, director of the Suicide Squad, set up. He could pick it up and make it his own, which I'm sure was more appealing for him, she concluded. All right. You want to talk about how that works when you have multiple directors with really the same, different visions for the exact same set of characters. You have something like the sequel trilogy in Star Wars, which was a complete wreck. J.J. Abrams even admitted that in hindsight he wished that it was a little bit more planned out. There was nothing that worked in any of those movies. If you would have had the same director, the same vision, maybe you could have made something out of it. As bad as what those movies are, maybe you could have made something out of it. But because they didn't go in it with a plan, which you should always do, whether you're a filmmaker or just your average person dealing with your regular day, you should have a plan. That's the first thing they teach you from the moment you start school and beyond. That's one thing your parents are always telling you. Have a plan. But for some reason, DC executives don't feel like that needs to be the case. That is crazy. You're losing a remarkable talent here simply because you're all over the place, DC. That troubles me. It upsets me as a fan. I'm just really, I don't know. I'm so mad about this because I'm thinking, where does it go from here? Like, seriously, I'm like her. Where does it go from here? Aquaman 2, those things. Just where are these characters going? Where are they going in an interesting way? Of course, we've got Amber Heard, even with that movie, that is causing some, confusion among what is going to take place with it. And there's just a lot of things, with the upcoming, the Batman and everything that's coming out, which that movie might never even see the light of day. Who knows? But guys, let me know what y'all think down below. I'm kind of upset about this. Um, I think she's a remarkable talent. I'm going to be sad not to see her in any, at least upcoming films after the Suicide Squad. But who knows? Maybe she'll decide to come back. Maybe DC will decide. Maybe, hey, we don't have to be exactly like Marvel, but we need to at least have a plan like Marvel. I don't feel like that's too much to ask, really. But as always, guys, let me know what y'all think down below. And thanks for watching. Now take